All right. So, how is everybody doing? I know Miss Cheryl over there. She's got new fire in her step. She's getting on track. And let's see, who else have we got? Ted, are you actually working on something, or are you just kind of going along through the stuff? I'll unmute you here. Ted, can you hear us?
No.
No, he must not be there. All right. Anyway. And how about you, Gwen? Are you?
I'm here. I am working through stuff as I can.
Okay. Are you doing it like for your own business, or are you doing a sample, or are you doing one for ACT, or?
I'm actually looking to do it for the internet marketing side because I'm thinking that's a little bit bigger ticket.
Okay.
And then I was figuring I could kind of follow your shirt tails on ACT.
Yeah, we made some really good headway this week, so I was going to share that with you guys, and it was pretty cool. You know, I run into the same problem you guys do when it comes to doing your own stuff. It's really tough for some reason. I haven't quite figured out what that is. That's definitely something we need to tap into the old NLP and undo those blocks. But I know I certainly have them. I spent Tuesday down in San Diego working with our new funnel team, and it was just an awesome experience, you know, to sit at the table and, you know, you got one guy on the whiteboard and he is just furiously writing down everything that everybody says, and you don't lose anything. It's all like right there on the board, and then you start tweaking and adjusting, and you know, he's erasing and moving around, and you know, and I'm sitting back there thinking, there's got to be a way to do this electronically that'd be a little easier. but it was really awesome to have that and have everybody all in the same train of thought. It's you know, it's uncanny how much these guys are in alignment with the ACT program, and how well they're doing because of that. You know, they've been doing funnels for several years, and you know, they've been using pretty much the identical protocol to ACT without even knowing it. But it is, you know, it's one of the biggest reasons why they've been so successful. And I'll just show you guys. I'll do a screen share here and show you guys what we came up with here. Get rid of that. Okay, so here's the page that we actually came up with, and we leveraged the whole Dean Cain thing, and we're basically using this as a celebrity endorsement that kind of fits into the social proof. We're using the as seen on again as social proof. So we've really kind of wrapped the offer with social proof to prevent somebody from saying, who is this? This is some fly by night. I've never heard of them. We pretty much eliminate that with both the as seen on and here the association with somebody that is assumed to be a superstar, you know, or Superman as it be. So the headline over here, the subhead over here is Superman. Dean Cain interviews John Limbacher on how to create a bulletproof system for generating online leads and sales. The bulletproof is tied to the Superman, you know, Man of Steel, faster than a speeding bullet. So that's where that came in. That was an add-on of us working through the copy. So this we've identified as exactly what business owners are wanting. They want to generate online leads and sales. So we've worked that into what he's interviewing me on. So again, we're trying to get people, and here's the strategy. The strategy behind this entire thing is to get them on the webinar. That's our goal. That's our objective with this page, is to get people signed up for the webinar. So with this social proof right here, and talking about how I was interviewed on, creating a bulletproof system for generating online leads and sales. That's pretty strong just in itself, and we haven't even got to the offer over here yet. And then we've got the counter built in here for scarcity. They can see that this thing's coming up as it ticks down. And also we put brand new live web class begins in. So the scarcity is, this thing's new. No one's seen it before. I can be in on it right from the get-go. And you can see as I'm talking about this, how much is engineered into this. This wasn't just we threw some crap up on a page. There was a lot of thought that went into this. Now, when we get to the main meat and potatoes here, this is really, if you take everything away, this is it right here. This alone could run as a standalone item. We've just wrapped it with credibility because when we do this ad, 99% of the people that are going to see this have never heard of me. They've never seen me. I have virtually no credibility to this market. I can almost assure you they have never heard of me. But they have heard of CBS News. They've heard of all these. They've heard of Dean Cain. So I'm attaching myself to that, to build that authority and that credibility, so it doesn't matter if they've never heard of me. They're going to want to hear what I have to say because of that. So now we get into the main offer. And what we're doing, this is 3 pieces. I don't know if you can identify the pieces, but this is the first one here. And this goes to the desired outcome. If you look at the timeline, this is the desired outcome of our avatar. They want to learn how to add an extra 100,000 this year using and then we go into the unique mechanism. So notice what's built into that. It's what they want, and with a sense of urgency. They want it this year. There's a time attached to it. And then they want to get it using something. They don't want to do the work. So the work is done by the unique mechanism. This is what delivers the results. So it's what they want, how quickly they want it, and what is going to do the work. The predictable client getting system is what's going to do the work to get this, which is what they want. When they want it this year. So you can see we've got the top 2 tied together now, and now we drill in here. That's the benefit, because this is one of their biggest objections, is they don't want to do any selling. So we say without doing any selling. So we've addressed their main objection right here. So basically what we did there in 3 pieces was we painted a dream come true. What they want being delivered by a system that's going to do the work without them doing the selling, avoiding the pain that they want to avoid. And then we go into the free training by John Limbacher. And here's proof that the system works. This is, again, social proof. And it says John Limbacher, who made $139,790 in 70 minutes the first time he used the system. This is tying it to an actual event at Glacier Kennedy when I actually used the ACT protocol, which is the predictable client getting system, and that was my results. So that is 100% true, accurate, and verifiable. So again, that's proof that this thing here delivers the results in excess of what we're promising and in excess of a year. It's in 70 minutes. And then the call to action. Register my seat now. Limited seating, a little bit of scarcity here. So you can see all the pieces that's engineered above the fold. That's the whole goal, is to get everything visible above the fold. So that's it in a nutshell. And then if you scroll down, again, it says limited seating, first come, first served. Again, scarcity. It's showing the date, the time, the host. And then this basically goes to Russell Brunson's system. And this is something that the team brought in, and they feel really strongly about this. So they say that they have had tremendous success using this particular strategy of the 3 secrets that you're going to learn inside the webinar. So in some cases, this is going to be enough. Some people are just going to hit this and be done. But for those that are skeptical, they're going to want more. So that's where we give them this. We give them the 3 secrets. So here's secret number 1. And again, these 3 secrets, where you get these are going to be your objections. So when you get into the beliefs, of your avatar, this is where you're going to have to replace those beliefs to get them to purchase from you. So here's our claim is basically a predictable client getting system is the missing link to all profitable online businesses. So you're going to discover and learn that, but we've packaged it up into a claim statement. It's wrapped in a what you're going to get, but we're making a statement inside here. We're saying discover why a predictable client getting system is the missing link to all profitable online businesses. So not only are we stating what they're going to learn, we're making a hidden claim in there. And then here we follow it up with proof. You know, without a predictable client getting system, 80% of businesses fail within 18 months, according to Forbes magazine. There's our third-party verification where it's not just us stating it. We're not just throwing out empty promise here. We're basing this on fact, based on the authority of Forbes magazine. Now, secret number 2, the proven 3-step formula that anyone with no business experience or technical ability can use to generate real predictable income in 30 days or less. Now, that's a very strong claim. That may be unrealistic for some. Some are going to take a lot longer than that. But it's actually true. If someone sat down and they didn't have anything else to do and they were fully focused and fully committed to this, they could run through this and get this going in less than 30 days. So again, it's a strong claim. It's a strong promise. And that's what's actually going to make sales for you guys. You know, when you stand behind it and you're completely certain, and there's, obviously we're going to say, depending on how much you put in, there's no way that we can guarantee anything. We're not going to guarantee you results in 30 days because that's going to be based on what you put in, your effort. I can't guarantee that. But the system itself, within 30 days, would produce the results given the effort on the other side. So there's a lot of stuff in here. I don't know if you guys are seeing it now, but we're overcoming objections, because one objection is right here. I have no business experience. So this 3-step formula that anyone with no business experience, here's another one, no technical ability, or no technical ability can use to generate real predictable income. This is a desired outcome. So they're going to use this 3-step formula, which is, again, the unique mechanism, to do the work, to generate. It's the thing that's going to do it. It's going to generate real predictable income, and then you've got the time frame, 30 days or less. Now we go into more of the benefits. Stop the cycle of spending without revenue. And this is what most people are experiencing. They're spending money. They're not getting any money in return. So we're really speaking their language. We have pulled out. We've identified what they're feeling. This goes back to the empathy grid. What are they hearing? What are they seeing? What are they feeling? You know, this is what they feel. They feel like they're in this endless cycle of spending without any revenue, and they're in stress. So this is going to eliminate the stress, frustration, and overwhelm by turning on a system. Again, we're going back to a system to get clients paying you the very first month. Again, another way to state the desired outcome. So you see how we're hammering home the same message. We're congruent on all fronts. We're saying it in multiple ways. We said it once up here. We said it there. We said it there. And then here we go again. Secret number 3. Tap into the 276-year-old secret recipe developed by Benjamin Franklin that is hidden in the world's most successful marketing campaigns to this day. So this is the key here. This is saying that there's a secret out there that if you knew the secret, you would have the success of the most successful marketing campaigns, even to this day. This is the missing link. Somewhere up here we talked about the missing link. So this ties back to that. It was in here somewhere. There was a missing link somewhere. Anyway, that's where that ties in, is that hidden, it's hidden in the world's most successful marketing campaigns to this day. And that's naturally referring to the claim proof benefit.
It's over in secret 1.
Oh.
The missing link is in secret 1.
There you go. I knew it was in there. I was just going to it. Thank you. So you can see how we're tying the missing link here to the hidden thing that's 276 years old that only a handful of people know. And then we go into it again. We reiterate it. Why the ancient wisdom of the secret recipe is the only formula the world's most successful companies use to dominate their market. And again, we're using dominate the market. This ties into the brand. We had to throw dominate in there somewhere, right? And then how you can use it too. So this implies you can use it too, that it's not complicated. It's ready to use. It's just you don't know what it is, so you can't take advantage of it. So those 3 secrets are really, really tightly related. We are not going outside the box. We're not pulling, other random stuff in just to try and plug in more content. We're hammering home on one thing and one thing only. And then down here, if you're not sold yet, we're going to throw another bonus on top, and you'll receive access to the predictable client getting system blueprint. Register my seat now. And this follows a formula that they have used to do multiple million-dollar campaigns. So I am hoping that translates to the ACT program. And I don't see why it wouldn't. Now that I've got it all together and I can see it, I'm like, holy shit, this is powerful. Anybody that gets onto this, it's going to be hard for them to turn away. And then they're going to go to the webinar and they're going to see the rest. So here we've got the picture of me and Dean Kane. When you do the register now, look at what you're going to get. You're going to get a congratulations with the 2 of us shaking hands like I'm congratulating him. So we are reiterating the fact that they've done a good thing and they're going to get benefit out of this. So again, that's just a little psychological plug in there. Congratulations, you're booked for the webinar. And then we spend this entire page making sure they're going to show up. So again, we reiterate here what they've signed up for, and then we're telling them exactly what to do. Follow these 3 steps before the class. So we're kind of giving them some prep work. We want them to write down the date and the time of the web class. We want them to set a reminder in their phone to remind them to arrive 5 to 10 minutes early so they make sure they get a seat because there's a limited amount of seats. Second, we want them to check their email. We want to make sure they're receiving email from us so they can receive the follow-ups. And then third, we're telling them to show up. Tell them to show up when and where and what they're going to get. And then again, we drop the secrets in here. This is just a pure copy of what they saw just before this. So just in case they forgot, they missed it, or they want to see it again, it's right there. So that's our sequence. And then what happens next? Once they sign up, we're going to put them through an indoctrination campaign to make more certain that they show up. So for the next 3 days, what we're going to do is we're going to send them a short video each day that is on the first day. They're going to get a short video on this, talking about this missing link. We're going to be showing them proof here. Second day, we're going to send them a short one on secret number 2. And obviously the third day, we're going to send them a short video on secret number 3. Just to indoctrinate them, because what we're trying to do, again, remember, these are people that don't know me. They've never met me. They have no idea who I am and what I can do for them. So I'm giving them a little taste here. Again, pushing them to make sure that they show up because they don't want to miss out on all of what's in this webinar and all these things. And I'm not, in the short videos, I'm not going in full detail like what I'm going to do on the webinar. These are purely for marketing. I'm basically just going to be describing the benefits of what it's going to do for them when they know this, when they discover this predictable client getting system and how it's the missing link. That's what I'm talking about in that video. Here, I'm going to be talking about this 3-step formula that doesn't require business experience. It requires no technical ability. I'm going to show them that we've got stuff in there that will take care of those problems for them, but not go into what it is. And then same thing on video 3. So that's an indoctrination campaign that's automatically going to get delivered by the email autoresponder once they've signed up for the webinar. You know, I'm using GoToWebinar, so GoToWebinar also sends out reminders. It'll send out a day before an email saying, you know, don't forget the webinar tomorrow. Here's the link. Make sure it's in your calendar. Make sure you set the time aside. And then it's also going to send them another email about, I think it's about an hour prior to the webinar, reminding them that the webinar is coming up in an hour. Make sure they clear their schedule and be ready for it. And then it's also going to send an email out to anyone that does not show up. GoToWebinar keeps track of who actually shows to the webinar. So anybody that's a no-show, it's going to send them an email the day after saying, sorry you couldn't make it. You know, we missed you on the webinar. We did record it in case you want to check it out. And we're going to give them a line to the recording. Because from what I understand, about 50% of the sales are made on the follow-up, on the recording, on the sending out the follow-up. And I've seen that in webinars that I've done. Like when I do webinars on SEO and Rainmaker and we're trying to sell Rainmaker, the last time we did that, we actually made more sales on the follow-up than we did on the live webinar. And we did pretty good. We did about 30,000 in sales on that particular webinar. But the follow-up was even, it was more than, it doubled that. It more than doubled it. So that's the way the sequence is going to go. Do you guys have any questions about the sequence, the copy? You know, this is a really good example. Both of these pages, the thank you page as well as the opt-in page. These are perfect examples of copywriting, of how you do it, how you include the headline, how you include the big idea. You know, the big idea is basically right here. This big idea ties directly to their desired outcome and their time frame. And then you've got the unique mechanism, you know, and the unique mechanism is not the name of your program. notice in here, nowhere do I say ACT. Nowhere in here do I say this is based on the ACT marketing protocol. That's all what we're going to deliver on the back side. But it's the unique mechanism that's going to deliver the result. Remember, they're not buying the diet pill because it's a diet pill. They're buying it because it has Garcinia cambogia in it, and that's what's going to deliver the result. It's the unique mechanism. And then we have to avoid objections, and we have to get around, you know, their main objection is, I love the idea of getting clients, but I don't want to do any selling. I don't want to be the salesman. So we're addressing that right there. We're eliminating the major objection. And then down here, we're eliminating the minor objections. You know, the no business experience, the technical ability, all that kind of stuff. So again, this is like a perfect example of copywriting of the basic sales funnel for client acquisition to get them onto the webinar. The webinar is another thing. I'm working on the webinar right now. My webinar for the ACT program is absolutely dynamite for the content. But where I fell down, where I lost it, was on the close. And our new team has a unique way to make sure that your webinars close a phenomenal rate. And they call it stacking. You stack the offer. And I need about 10 to 15 slides added into my current webinar. So when I go into the sales portion, I can stack the offer. And what stacking the offer is, it's simply restating the benefits, telling them what they're going to get, adding value upon value. You're stacking the value of every deliverable that they're going to receive from purchasing the product. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about a stack. We're gonna create a webinar that at the end of the webinar goes into the close, and it basically stacks the offer, stacks the benefits, stacks the value to the point where when they get to the end, it would be absolutely ridiculous for them not to buy it. And that's going to give us an absolute winner. And all you guys have to do is model this. Whatever you're selling, this is how you model it. So if you're trying to get people in for client acquisition, it doesn't matter how much you're selling your product for. This is a really, really rock solid way to get client acquisition. Now, let me tell you what this doesn't solve. This does not solve a business problem if you have client acquisition and then you have no profitable follow-up on the backside. So, and I've seen this a couple of times where people will have an item on the front end that's a low dollar item, and it's almost like a tripwire item. I'm not putting a tripwire in front of this. My first offer out of the gate for client acquisition is $500. It's $497. So that gives me a budget where I can afford to spend a fair chunk of money to acquire a customer. Now, if you're starting off and you've got a $7 item or a $19 item or a low dollar item, and it's basically, it should be a tripwire to just acquire a customer for the goal and strategy of selling them a bigger package on the back end where you're going to make your profit. This model doesn't solve that. If you don't have that strategy in your business, if your business is based on a one item sale and it's a low dollar sale, that's a poor business model. You're not going to fix that by adding more customers, because the customers might cost you more than the initial sale. That's okay if you have a robust back end and you know you're going to make that money up. One of the most impressive statements that I've heard out of Perry Belcher when he did his presentation at TNC was he came right out and he said, the person in business that's going to win is the person that can pay the most to acquire a customer. And that relates directly to the Agora model. Agora Publishing, they know their numbers. They know they can spend up to 8 months to acquire a customer and get profit. Like they'll spend they will spend so much to acquire a customer, they're not going to be profitable for 8 months. It take them 8 months to break even. But again, they know their numbers and they know how much they're going to make over the lifetime of that customer, and they don't care if they have to go 8 months deep. It's perfectly fine. They know the numbers and they've got the budget. They can afford to do that. And Perry was absolutely right. The one that can afford to spend the most to acquire a customer is going to win. But you have to know your numbers, or that can be just business and financial suicide if you don't know your numbers like they do. So you got to know, you got to know your stick rate, you got to know your burn rate, you've got to know the numbers about the business, what it costs you to fulfill on a client. A lot of people don't think about that. They think, oh, well, if I get a customer for this amount, I'm going to make that amount. And they're not calculating in customer support that can absolutely eat them alive. They might not have enough time in the day to do it themselves. So they might have to hire someone, and now they've got an extra expenditure that they didn't think about. So, like I said, this model will help you to do your client acquisition, but that's just a piece of your overall business strategy. I just want to make sure you guys get that, you understand that. So, questions at this point? Do you guys have questions about anything about how this works technically, or the sequence, or the copy, or why we did this or why we did that? Anything?
John, will you be sending us a copy of that so we have it to kind of
yeah, I can do that.
Kind of use as our little guide?
Sure.
But that's just for a webinar, right?
Yeah, this is for a webinar. In fact, I've already done that. Oh. I'm a step ahead of you. If you go into your Apprentice program, let's see, let me refresh this. Make sure I got the fresh version here. Okay, so under here, I've added the coaching call archive. I have not updated that yet. So later today, I'll be loading up the videos for the archive from all of the coaching calls that we've done over the last month. I've got the copy of the roofer copy example that we talked about last week. I'm going to go into that a little bit more this week since we're on copy. But here you've got the webinar landing page and the confirmation page. Those are the two pages that you just saw. So if you go in there and you just click on those, you've got those two examples now. So that's this page is the webinar page, and that's the confirmation page. So you got both of them right at your fingertips.
Okay.
So it was a pretty good day. It was a pretty good day spent putting those together. All right.
John, how is this going to work from the affiliate side? Because if we're driving traffic to this page, to this for the webinar, is your system set up to keep track of who sent who, where, that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. When you go into the affiliate section inside your members area, like up here when you go to the affiliate login, let's see here, under affiliate, when you go to the banners and links, what you've got here, I'm going to actually add this page in, and you'll have a direct link to send people through to go to that page. So that will be the link for you to send them through right here where it says affiliate link. So that would be your affiliate link, and it's tracked and it lands on that page. So once we get this all updated and smoothed out, that's how you'll do it. And it'll all be tracked. You can see it in your back end and all that good stuff.
John,
Yes.
can you, once you hit everything on your list for the call today, before we close out, can you please do an example on display planner again, just as a refresher?
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's go back.
Ted also had a question, John, if you didn't see that in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I did not see that. Let me pull that up here. Okay, so display planner here. Okay, let me just get this down. I'm going to stop the share for a minute so I can get to the chat box. All right, Ted says funnels look great. Okay, he's trying to figure out how, as an affiliate selling act, how to sell someone from an ad to my landing page with options and then to another opt-in. Yours. Okay, so like I said, I think I may have just answered this question. When you log into the affiliate section, that's where you're going to get your links. So if you've got your own landing page, let's say you've got your own landing page and you want to drop them there first and you want to maybe sell them onto other offers and things, you would just use that link and you'd put that, you just embed that into whatever you're doing. Now, if you're doing, and that's where I'm assuming you're going to have other options where they could buy other stuff on a different page. So that basically just embed that link wherever you want it. You can put it to an image, you can put it to text or whatever. The other thing that you guys might not be thinking too is if you're selling something else, an act could somehow work its way into there as an affiliate offer. Like if any of you are serving business clients and you think that you might be able to help them grow their business using ACT, then what you can do is after you've sold them your item, when your thank you page comes up, then you can put the offer to go into ACT and you can make more money. It's like an upsell. So you've sold them into your product already. You got that done. The thank you page comes up and it says, by the way, you might be interested in this, and then you can send them through to purchase ACT as well. So that's another way to do this. Okay, so he says I'm asking them to opt in and send them to. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so you might want to put the offer out. Like for mine, I'm sending them right to sign up to a webinar. But what you could do is you could have your own offer, your own, your own opt-in to get them to opt into yours before you send them to mine to opt in. So that's perfectly fine. You could actually place the link to go to the ACT webinar on your thank you page after you get them to opt in. So your offer to get them to opt in might be to get access to this thing. So you've opted them in first, and then you're just passing them right through. So that's another way to do it too. Let's see. All right. So anything else related to this before we move on? I got a couple more things I want to get to cover for today. But I want to make sure that, you guys are solid on this. And if you've got questions on why we did anything or how to spin that into yours or whatever you want to do. But it's really the same thing. This is like a recipe and a formula. If you just look at what we did here, we copied this off of one that they'd already done. They've already got one that's, in fact, we copied it off of the one where the guy was selling sales training, and he's already made over $1 million with this funnel. We literally just grabbed a copy of it, loaded it into my ClickFunnels account, and changed it to match ACT. That's exactly what we did. That's how we got to it so quickly. And the fact that I knew all of the stuff blew their minds. They're like, they've never worked with anybody that's been trained on ACT before. Usually they're having to go through all of what you guys are going through, and they're trying to pull that information out, and it's really difficult. You know, if you've ever been on the other end of being a service provider, and, you know, like we've done web development for the last 20 something years, and it's really difficult to get them to tell you what they want, because generally they don't know, and they've got no idea how to know. So that's one of the things that the ACT program itself actually solves. When you go through it and you actually get the information down, when it comes time to hire a web developer or hire a copywriter, or let's say you want to get your funnel done for you, and you've got the answer to all those questions, that's the gold. That's the stuff that it actually is made up of. If you don't have that and they start asking you the questions and you just start blowing them answers that are meaningless, then you're going to get a funnel that doesn't convert. You know, that's really the outcome. It's garbage in, garbage out. You put the wrong information in, you can get the wrong information out. So there's nothing new about that. That's been around since before computers. So, all right, so let's move. Let me find my copy, my roofer copy. And I know we talked about this last week, and I said I was going to send you guys an example, but I'll just go through it here. So we'll make it even easier. And you guys have access to this too. If you go to the Apprentice page, you can actually download this, and, you know, if you want to have it up on your screen and look at it. But I'll share my screen here with you so you can see it here without doing that. But here was the problem. I went to Google and I started doing competitive research, because I figured I had hired a couple of different copywriters, and they did not come up with anything remotely close to what I was expecting. So obviously, you know, to match the deadline, I just wound up doing this myself, and I wrote the copy myself. Now, here's something that I said last week, and this is absolutely true. I would not have been able to write this copy without the customer having done ACT. When I asked them for their workbook, they supplied it to me, and they had everything done. And that was the only reason I was able to even do this. So the first thing about this was they weren't just shooting at roofs. It was very specific. They had identified their most profitable segment, and that is commercial flat roofing. To redo commercial flat roofs, that's where the gold is in their bucket. You know, in their industry, that's what you want to go for. Now, also, it happens to be very low competition. Not too many people in their industry specialize in this. Everybody offers it. It's like when you go to all of the roofer websites, they list every possible type of roof out there that they specialize in. And the fact is, most of them don't specialize in any of them. They'll do all of them, but they'll half-ass it. You know, that's the kind of roofer they are. These guys actually specialize in this commercial flat roof. So we wanted to get that across. We wanted to get across that, you know, if you need a commercial flat roof, we're the ones for you, without doing all the platitudes and saying we're the best and all that kind of crap that's on every other roofing website out there. It was really tough. I expected this would be an easy job. I expected I'd be able to get on Google, and within 10 minutes I'd be able to find something that was decent that I could copy and make better. And that was not the case. Everywhere I looked, it's all the same stuff. It's like this whole industry is void of any quality marketing. So that really made it tough. I was literally starting from scratch. So the headline here is commercial flat roof or flat roofing done right the first time will save you thousands. And again, keep in mind the avatar here is somebody that owns a commercial building. This is not a resident. This is not a homeowner. This is a business. And business owners know if you don't do things right the first time, it costs you money. So these business owners are very motivated to save money. They're very motivated to not have, unforeseen problems come up. So again, when we say done right the first time, we're making an implication right there that if you don't get the right roofer, this probably isn't going to get done right. So right up front, we're making that statement hidden in the text. And then we're putting on the other side what it's going to do for you is going to save you thousands. So again, that's very appealing. We've got their attention now. And then here we use what, on a regular sales page, this is what's called the eyebrow. It's if it's calling them out. This is for you if. So we say if you own a building or structure that has a low slope roof, it needs special protection in order to prevent it from developing leaks and weak spots. So, again, we're making specific statements based on this is only going to appeal to somebody that is a commercial building owner and they've got this low slope or flat roof. And it's pointing out a problem they may not know about. We're saying it needs special protection. And then here we're saying, here's who we are. We work with property owners and management companies to protect against major loss and damage from flat roof leaks and failure. So again, we're keying in on we're talking to the right person here. And then we say, the roof of your building is the most essential part. Because most people don't think about the roof. They're not thinking that's the most essential part. So we're going to come out and say that it is. And here's why. The most essential part of your business because it protects everything underneath it. Now, if you're a business owner, you rely on insurance to protect you. That's a known thing. A business owner relies on that. So they're familiar with that. That's language they understand. So we're talking about, the roof, we're equating that to cheap insurance. That's what's going to protect everything underneath it. Then we say many times a flat roof will fail without warning. Now this is a businessman's worst nightmare, a problem without warning. We're saying this can happen, and what it does, it leaving you with a major loss of income and unbearable inconvenience, really pressing on the pain there. And then we go into, now they're going to see it. They heard it. Now they're going to see it. Imagine having to vacate your tenants while water damage and mold abatement take place. They can see that happening. They're like, holy shit, I don't want that to happen. And then, we say you can avoid this by simply having a routine roof inspection done by the professionals at Pacific Pride Roofing. Notice this is the first time we came out with who the company is. We're not going into saying this is who we are. We've been around for all these years. We haven't even touched on that yet. We've spoken directly to their desire and their avoidance of pain so far. So then we go in to make sure your building's roof is ready to protect you from the elements so you can concentrate on the things you do best, like managing your company. That's where their money comes from. And then here we go into, and I didn't really know how to phrase this. I needed to get this across. So what I did is I put it in as a major tip. So that's like a pattern interrupt. When you give someone a tip, they're used to that. But I'm saying a major tip. I'm like, what the hell is that? That's a pattern interrupt. They're going to look at that and say, major tip, I should pay attention to that. And then here we say, get routine inspections and documentation on your flat roof to ensure your insurance doesn't deny your claims. So I'm making a claim here that if you don't have documentation that you've checked on your roof, that your insurance might actually deny your claim when it goes bad. So I've got their attention. I drove that home. That's a fear. I'm tapping into this fear and greed. Those are the two emotions I'm driving this sale with, is fear and greed. And I say denied claims leave you vulnerable and responsible for all financial loss. So you could literally be responsible for the loss of all the stuff that gets wet that is owned by your customers. So that's serious fear and greed right there. They want to avoid that at all costs. And then I go into the third party. I'm going for third party proof and verification here. Experts agree that in order to protect your business, you should have your flat roof inspected at least every 3 to 5 years. We use a comprehensive checklist to conduct a thorough inspection and assessment of your flat roof and provide you a detailed report on its condition. So we're basically providing the thing that's going to eliminate them from getting their claims denied. That's huge value right there. Then we say, we'll then work with you to decide if replacement is necessary or if we can make repairs to extend the life of your roof. So we're saying, you know, have this checked out. You should know so you don't have unforeseen disaster in your business. Then we say, don't wait till it's too late. Call Pacific Pride Roofing now to schedule a professional inspection of your building's roof. And again, I didn't start off here. I should have started off here with our objective. Our objective is to make the phone ring. They're not trying to get opt-ins. They're not trying to get people to, you know, land on their page. They want them on the phone. So the whole goal of this landing page is to get them to call. So here, the first call to action is to call to get that roof inspection. And then this is where we finally get into like the first platitude that they were under the impression that this makes a big difference. So I needed to weave it in somewhere. So we say Pacific Pride Roofing has been proudly serving property owners, not residential owners, property owners, with flat roofs in the Pacific Northwest, including the Seattle area, since 1989. We are family owned and operated. Again, they felt that was important. That's on every roofing site out there. That seems to be the common thread to the platitudes. So we threw it in, but we didn't lead with it. It's a fact, but we're not leading with it like it's the only thing we're basing our, you know, we're hanging our hat on. And now we're going to separate ourselves. Now we're going to set some buying criteria. So here we've got few roofing contractors specialize in commercial flat roofing, which is why we can do it for less and save you money. Don't pay more for an unexperienced roofing company to learn on your dime. So we are really separating the herd here for what makes us better. Then we've got one mistake on their part will cost you tens of thousands of dollars when the weather turns on you. So again, we're just rubbing that in and reiterating that flat roofs are problematic. And if you don't get it done right the first time, it can cost you thousands. We're going right back to the headline here. We're reiterating that. And then we're going to twist the knife. We say even worse, there is only a 4 to 5 month window to perform flat roof replacement in your area. Now, the unexperienced don't know that, so they might try and do this job out of the right season and again cost you tens of thousands of dollars because of that inexperience. Replacements performed outside this window by less experienced roofers will surely fail. It is this failure that will lead to the horror and major business and income loss. So again, that's setting the buying criteria pretty steep. That's putting the ladder against a pretty tall wall. So then we say, chances are we have replaced, and this is social proof if you haven't picked this up, chances are we have replaced flat roofs within a stone's throw of you. Any flat roof done right in your area was more than likely done by us. Building owners trust Pacific Pride to do it right the first time, every time. Again, tying back to that original statement we made. And then we're saying we're going into the benefits here. Keep the inside of your commercial property dry and safe from whatever conditions Mother Nature throws your way. Now we're coming up to the objection. This is the financial objection of I don't have the money. We say don't let finances get in your way. You may qualify for our Roof Now, Pay Later program. Call Pacific Pride Roofing now. Again, another call to action, very strong for a totally different reason. Up above, we were getting them to call for the free roof inspection. Here we're getting them to call to see if they qualify for the Roof Now, Pay Later program. Two totally separate things, but two very strong calls to action for a very high desired outcome. Now, again, we're separating the herd even further. We're talking about the warranty. Nobody talks about the warranty in this business. And again, this is we're setting buying criteria and showing why we're different, why we're better. We stand behind our work with our total system warranty that covers and protects you for up to 30 years. Pacific Pride Roofing has the best warranty on flat roofing in the industry. Again, that's kind of weak. That's a platitude. I needed it, so I threw it in. Hopefully at some point I can figure out how to replace that and make it better. But here I go into why. I'm not just saying it, I'm reiterating why. We are factory trained and certified directly by the manufacturers to install their absolute best flat roofing materials. The manufacturer also meticulously inspects our work to ensure proper installation of their products and are at the completion of each job, providing you, the owner, with peace of mind that your job is done right. This eliminates any risk of failure and is backed by the manufacturer. The manufacturer controls how everything is installed and what materials are used on the roof because they are responsible for the roof warranty. So underlying, this is basically implying that if you don't work with the manufacturers, that the warranty is not going to hold up. So again, that's a unique mechanism. It's a hidden unique mechanism in there of why we're better. And then the preferred material we install is a membrane roof, often referred to as either a TPO. Actually, that's a mistake. I need to fix that. As a TPO membrane, I need to take either out of there. We install TPO in most cases because it is less expensive than PVC with the same benefits. Other roofers with less experience will push the PVC products, which cost more with no additional benefits. Versico is the manufacturer we use due to their superior product, competitive pricing, reliability, and guarantee. They're a subsidiary of Carlisle. You should call us now because we guarantee the right roof at the right price. Again, don't let finances get in your way. You may qualify for our Roof Now, Pay Later program. And another call to action to call the number. So that's 3 shots at getting them to call the number, which is our desired outcome. 3 shots, 3 angles. If they don't call the number, they don't want a flat roof. You know, if we get the right person to this page, they're going to call that number. We're going to get them on one of the 3 of those. They're there for a reason, and we're giving them the best information in the roofing market. They're not going to go to another website and get more out of it than is on this page. So again, there is another really good example of copy for a sales page. And this sales page wasn't trying to make a sale. This is just trying to get them on the phone so the salesperson can work through that. They've got a couple of really good sales guys, and they have a really high percentage of close ratio when they get the right customers on the phone.
Hey, John, I've got a question for you. With all that copy, where do you distribute it? I mean, are you putting in videos, or is it just all just listed like in a letter or something? How do you distribute that?
This right now is basically just going to be a sales page that is going right directly from pay-per-click. So pay-per-click ads, we figure that's really where their clients are going to be. They're not going to be on Facebook. If you have a commercial roof owner and he's got a problem, or he's looking to solve a problem, he's going to be on Google, Bing, or Yahoo searching. So we're doing pay-per-click ads directly to this landing page to try it. And the goal is a call. The goal is to get them on the phone.
Do you have it designed out though? I mean, is it?
No, so far I just have the copy done.
Okay, but the goal is it going to be designed out like is it, you know what I'm saying? Tricked out with bells and whistles and stuff, or? Oh
yeah. It'll have photos in there. It'll be an engineered page. It'll be like a regular landing page.
Okay.
And, we might even want to do this into a video as well. This is a great script for a video. Obviously they need somebody a little better at reading a script than I am, but this would make a great video, getting some sort of a spokesperson to read this off from a teleprompter or something. But yeah, that's so this content, this is like the meat and potatoes. However it's delivered, it should work. Whether it just be in written form or in the form of a video. I haven't seen too many roofers with videos out there. Not to say that I don't think it would work, because I think video sales letters are really strong. But anyway, that's the content. That's how I basically did it. And you can see, if you look at that, you can identify a lot of the stuff right out of ACT and where I got it and why I put it in. It follows, it follows the formula. I was really disappointed going through a few copywriters that just all they were feeding me back was just, they were copying the same crap that's out there. And I'm like, no, we want this done to the ACT standard. Here's the information, put this into our format so it actually works. All right. So any questions about that? All right. So as far as, let's see. So you wanted to go into display planner?
Yes.
Was it display planner or the keyword planner?
The keyword planner.
Okay, because display planner is more for the demographics and the keyword planner is more for the keyword research. So I just want to make sure I'm hitting the right.
Do that one, please. The
keywords?
Yes.
Okay. So to get to that, just going to do what I always do here is put keyword planner right into Google, and it takes us right there. Okay, I guess I need to sign in here. Taking a while to sign in here.
Mm-hmm. Hey, John, while you're waiting for that, have you selected a date yet for the Work at Your House party?
Yeah, we're probably going to have a couple of them. I figure it's probably going to be most effective if we do it like 2 people at a time.
What? How many?
2.
Oh, okay.
Because especially after working, with the guys in San Diego, seeing how that process goes, if you get too many people in, it's not going to be helpful. It's going to be a hindrance because there's a lot of stuff to get through. You need enough, but if we add like I can see from the past, if we put a bunch of people around the table and we start going into that, we're not going to get anywhere very fast. And I think the objective here is to get to them quick. We want to knock it out one shot, one day. And I think if we do 2, we can probably do it. I was thinking about the amount of time it's going to take with each one. And I think that's going to be about the right formula, is 2 per day.
Do you know when you're going to start that?
So I'm thinking we might shoot for the first one next Tuesday.
I'll take it.
Wait, next Tuesday? That's the 22nd.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was that the one we talked about earlier, Gretchen? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so
Yes.
And that would be starting, about 10 o'clock. And
Okay.
then we'll go as long as it takes. But I'm thinking, like 3 to 4 hours on each one. And
Alrighty.
just do our damnedest to chip it out.
Yep. So 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okie doke.
So did Display Planner, did that load?
It did not the first time. I'm going to try it again here.
Okay. Well, that's loading. Cheryl, if you don't mind, can you ask that question that you had yesterday just so everybody knows?
Yeah, I was in the competitor analysis. And when I got doing I thought Display Planner was also in competitor analysis. Let me get my book here. Since John's got it up, I'll let him talk, and then I'll come in with mine after.
Okay, so once you get in here, once Google AdWords loads, where you're going to really find this, it should have taken us right there. I don't know why it didn't, but if you want to navigate to it, it's under the Tools menu, and you've got them both right here. You've got Display Planner and the Keyword Planner. So Display Planner is if you're trying to find demographics, you can use some demographics information out of Display Planner. I personally think you get a lot better data out of Facebook Insights, but this is another one where you can get stuff. You might find information in here in Display Planner that you don't find in Google Insights. So I basically show you how to use both of them. One thing I do want to kind of reiterate, I think a lot of people get stuck in the analysis portion, maybe diving even deeper than they really need to go. I cover all this stuff so you know the tools and you know how to pull the information when you need it, but you only need so much information. You just need to kind of get a look at what's out there. You want to make sure you're not missing anything and there's no gaps in your market knowledge. A lot of you are going to know inherently a lot of things about your market already. So you don't need to start from scratch. You don't need to dive in as deep as someone that's going into that market not knowing anything. You may have already worked with a bunch of clients and you might already know a lot of this stuff just intuitively from that. So anyway, Display Planner is basically for the demographics. The Keyword Planner, the reason that I put the Keyword Planner in here is for keyword research. So once you do identify your market, you know who your avatar is, you can use the Keyword Planner to go in there and see what those guys are searching for. So that's the whole basis and reason for the Keyword Planner. So when we go into this, I apologize for I don't know what's going on. It's loading very slow here for some reason. But when you go in here, you're basically going to be using this search for a keyword, for keywords using a phrase, website, or category. So that's the one you want to click on. Now, you can do this, like it said, you can do this from keywords or you can do this from a web page. So if you know a competitor's web page, or you want to see what comes up on your own web page, you can put that in right here where it says landing page. And then it's going to tell you what Google thinks the main keywords for that competitor or that website is. So that's kind of a cool thing to do, kind of just to, put some of your competitors in there and see.
Oops, I'm so sorry.
No problem. See what Google comes up for there, what they think it's about. And this can be very revealing about your own site. You might have done SEO on your site at one point for something else, and you might have switched gears and Google hasn't caught up, or they haven't figured it out. So, you might be selling blue suede shoes and Google thinks you're selling pink polka dot dresses. And that's, that's what they think you're all about. So if that's the case, you need to go back and realign yourself with search engine optimization. But let's just use an example here, and we'll put a keyword in up here. And well, let's just use the roofing. Let's just use flat roof. So I'm going to put flat roof replacement up here, and I'm going to hit get ideas. Can't display search volume charts. Please try again. I think Google's probably having some issues today. I think that's probably what's going on. I'm going to just give it another shot here. There we go. Okay. So under flat roof replacement, that's my seed keyword. So in the book, in the manual, it talks about seed keywords. That's the keyword that you put in to start your search. And you're going to find there's going to be a lot of different stuff that comes up that's related to that might actually, it's kind of like having a brainstorming board to bounce ideas off of. This is going to bounce you back all kinds of ideas. And let's see here. We're under keyword ideas. So under here, you've got flat roof coverings, flat roof construction, flat roof systems. Now, that might be a good one right there. Flat roof membrane, if they're sophisticated enough to know that flat roofs have a membrane, that might be what they're looking for. Flat roof options. That might be a really good keyword for these guys for flat roof, people looking for flat roof options. That means they're looking for a replacement. Flat roof covering, flat roof leak repair. Again, that would be perfect for that inspection. Somebody that's searching for flat roof leak repair, they could call the number and get the inspection to see what's up, see what they need to do. Maybe they can just repair it. Maybe they need it replaced. So
John,
it's giving you...
You're not really looking at the competition or the suggested bid. You're just trying to pull different words that you might use in your language on the ad. Is that what?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can look at. Right now, I'm just going down the list and seeing, what keywords that we might want to go for here. Over here, it's showing you the average monthly searches. This data was removed out of Google a long time ago, so this is really inaccurate. So there's not a lot here I can get other than here, this EPDM rubber roofing. It's only 1 to 10K versus 100 to 1K. So actually that's a lot higher, 1K to 10K versus 100 to 1K. So these numbers are still kind of low because this is a specialty thing. Not a lot of people have flat roofs. It's a specialty item. But again, this is like search volume, how many people are searching for that. So that is something I want to know. I want to know if it's like a really low number. I may not go for that in the case if my product or service is a low dollar service, I need big numbers. Now, if I'm doing a commercial flat roof, this is probably a $50,000 job. I don't need a lot of them. I need a few of these to get me through the season. So low numbers are okay if that's the case. Competition, most of the time it's going to say competition is high. That doesn't really mean much. What means more is the suggested bid. Like if you've got a high suggested bid, that can mean a couple of things. One of the things that could mean is that's a converting keyword that people are willing to pay that much because they know they're going to acquire a customer that's worth 50 grand. You know, if you knew you were going to get 50 grand and it was going to cost you $13 a piece to get it, and you had a 1% conversion, so that means you're going to have to buy 100 of those. So you're going to spend $1,300 in ad spend to make a sale. Is that worth it? $1,300 to get 50 grand? Yeah, I think so. So the price, again, doesn't really matter based on what you're selling. You've got to look at all that. You got to kind of factor it in. There's a lot of common sense to this that I think a lot of people don't play into that. They just, you know, they're not thinking it through. So consider things to consider when you're doing this work is consider the price of your item, the profit in the sale, how many people actually want it, and what they're willing to pay, you know, what your competitors are willing to pay to get it. Those are the things you've got to kind of factor those in. Now with a roof replacement, generally there's, you know, when you get them to the end of that timeline, that might be the end. This might be a one-shot deal if that's all you do is roofs. So, and I've had the conversation with these guys that, you know, they may want to get creative about what's next. You know, they may want to offer commercial insurance. You know, if they could connect with a commercial insurance broker and, you know, connect those people that own those buildings with better insurance, if they could save them. Because remember, we're factored on fear and greed. So if you can save them money on any services they're currently purchasing, you know, and you've just done them a big service by replacing their roof and getting them a good deal, the right deal, making sure they were taken care of, making sure they don't have any worries, chances are they'll buy other things from you if you have other things that appeal to them. So that's really kind of the bare bones of what we're doing in here with the keyword research. Now, one thing, and I know this goes deeper in the training, but once you do this, you want to download these. Like you can see, there's 701 in this list. So this is a list of 701 relevant suggestions and the keywords. So you want to make sure you download that into an Excel spreadsheet. So when you click download, it's going to ask you want Excel CSV. That's the one that you want. You hit download and it's going to save it to your desktop or wherever you want to save it. We'll save the file and it shows you there's 701 keywords. So here you have the option to either save it or open it. We'll just open it because I don't need to save this one. But it shows you which ad group they were in, your seed keywords. And this was from Keyword Ideas, which, you know, if you get more specific, it'll be in this category here. So here's flat roof replacement. This is the list of keywords. So you can scroll through this. They're all US dollars, so you can just delete that row. You don't need it. In fact, in this case, we don't even need that row, so I'm going to delete that one. Your competition here, in the other thing, it's based on high, medium, and low, and here it's turned it into a number. And again, I don't really look at that too much. I'm just going to get rid of that column as well. And we're looking at the suggested bid. We don't really need any of the rest of that, so just get that. So you can see I'm down to 3 columns here. I'm down to the nitty-gritty of what's important to me, which is I'm going to look through here and I'm going to see if this keyword is relevant. You know, these are pretty highly relevant. You know, flat roof cost, flat roof leak repair. This is actually a really good output. I've done some of these and you get all kinds of garbage. But let's just go down a little further. Like flat garage roof. You know, that's probably a little on the irrelevant side. So I might just eliminate that one. I might just go and delete it. Get rid of it. Residential, anything to do with residential, I'm not interested because this is commercial flat roofing. So I want that out of there. So that's what I'll do. I'll just go through here. This has nothing to do with gutter repair. So again, I'm gonna kill that out. I'm gonna just go through and I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna get rid of anything that's irrelevant, and then I've got a solid list to look at. And one of the things I'll look at is I'll look at the volume, and I may even sort this by volume and put the major ones at the top. And the way you sort that is by clicking up here in the top left corner. That highlights everything, which allows you to sort if you go to the data column. And you can do sort, and you can pick the field you want to sort by. And let's say we're going to sort by C, which is, that's the cost per click. And we want to go largest to smallest. So you can see it's now sorted this by that column. So I can go to the top and I can say, wow, look at that. Commercial flat roof repair cost, they're willing to pay $67 a click for that. You think that's a good keyword? Probably pretty damn good. That means those keywords are probably converting at a pretty high rate. So again, am I going to pay that much if it's a $50,000 roof? Probably, especially if I can convert it. See, a lot of the competitors, they've burned the money here to figure out which of these keywords converts, and those are the ones they're bidding high for. You know, they want to bid for that keyword because they know that's a keyword that's going to convert to a customer. That's why they'll pay more for it. So they've done the legwork for me here. So, you know, we've got a fair amount of these that are pretty high. So I might take this and say, you know, any of them that are $30 or higher, I'm going to color code that. I'm going to put yellow behind that. So now they stand out. So if I see something that's like, here's the ones next. So now here's a way to do this again. If we take this and we go back to data and we sort this again based on the B category, and we want to go, well, we want to go Z to A. So we'll say, here's the 1Ks, the 10Ks. See, there's 100K. Now, that one is one I probably would have thrown out to begin with because it's generic. I don't want roof. So I'm going to get rid of that. That's why it had such a high volume, but I don't care. I won't go after a generic keyword like roof. I want to be specific. But like, let's say, okay, here's our 10,000 to 100,000 blocks. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to take those and I'm going to color those with the text. I'm going to turn those red. All right. So now I've got these red ones, and I don't have any red that overlap the yellow. If I would have gone a little bit wider, let me go back and do that again. So you can actually see what I'm looking for here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to column C, and we're going to go back to the top. So instead of just taking the ones in the $30 range, I'm going to also take the ones in the $20 range. So anything from 20 up, I'm going to take those, and instead of yellow, let's mark them in green. So now in the green column, you can see green and red. That's like Christmas. That's a gift. So that's how very quickly I'll sort this information and I'll get to the golden nuggets. So roofing contractors, high search volume, high pay-per-click. That means it's valuable. Roofing companies. You know, now here's a caveat. I probably would have taken those out because they don't have anything to do with flat roof, but you get the picture. You get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to do an overlay based on two things. The best of volume and the best of price. And in pay-per-click, that's what I'm looking for. So does that make sense? Is that what you're looking for as far as the run through on this?
That helped a lot. I was asking for someone that I'm the coach for, but they're not on the line.
Okay.
So that's wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Well, this is recorded so they can go back and they can watch this if they're not on right now.
I already sent him a message.
All right. So I'm going to close that out. Is there any questions before I do that? You guys have any questions about the process of what I just did there? The thought process or the implementation or anything? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up. Don't need to save it. And we're done with that. So any other questions? Anybody got anything else you want me to
Cheryl has one.
to cover? Cheryl, yeah, go ahead.
I don't really think it's applicable to anybody else because they're not at that point yet.
That's okay.
Yes. Well, I was in so on direct response competitor and analysis at the end of the analysis part.
Uh-huh.
5 different direct response competitors, and as I was going through that, I was, watched the video, and it didn't really talk about like best text ads and best media ads, and I wasn't really sure how to throw a lot of that out. Like I went to SimilarWeb, and SimilarWeb gave me a few things, but I seemed to kind of get a little skipped over a lot of that stuff there.
So are you thinking it's a lot of stuff that's not relevant?
No, I just couldn't find, like I put in, I found 5 people, but the questions that were being asked, I wasn't able to find those answers. Like audience, I think audience interest I did okay with.
Yeah, and sometimes, keep in mind, a lot of this may wind up just being from intuition.
Okay.
There's some times where, if the information just isn't there, you don't want to dwell on that. You don't want to continue on an Easter egg hunt for something that you may never find.
Okay.
The idea is to get through it. If you know it intuitively, just put it down and go with that.
Okay.
If there's information you can verify it, that's awesome. That's great. And sometimes you learn more from that too. But if it's not there, it's not there.
I wasn't finding a lot of Facebook ads anymore. I don't know if Facebook has changed something, but I kept putting in. I finally went on Google and did a search for best Facebook ads for health. And then there were some websites that had them.
Sometimes what'll happen, if you want to see Facebook ads, you need to get retargeted. So if you go to their websites and you land on their websites, then their Facebook ads will hit you.
Okay.
So if you want to see Facebook ads, they're not going to show up necessarily unless you match an audience that they want to display that ad to.
Okay.
Remember, just like us, we don't want to send our ads just out to broad-based communities. We want to send it highly targeted to people that we want to sell to, which are people that have landed on our websites for sure. And Facebook knows that. Facebook creates similar audiences. So when you start landing on other websites in a particular category or niche, Facebook's going to lump you into a liked audience of you like that. Like, you know, if you like Frank Kern, anybody that says, I want to market to people that like Frank Kern, you're going to be in that list. You're going to see their ads. So you need to start being active about, you know, liking stuff on Facebook that is similar to that. Like go in Facebook and look for the communities, look for the groups, and join the groups and start liking stuff.
Okay.
And then that way they'll be able to target you with those type of ads.
And the promise exposure. I don't have my computer up because I got the screen up, but I can't remember my question. I took it in someplace.
Well, that's a good point though. Let me just kind of cover promise exposure, because I think that might be one that not everybody's kind of got their head wrapped around.
Yeah.
Promise exposure is what their ad is promising. You know, like in the example of my landing page, you know, the headline, that's the promise. Make the 100,000 plus this year. That's the promise. So you want to see in your marketplace, what is your market being exposed to as far as promises? And that's why it's important to look at those direct response marketers, especially even if they're in different niches, so you can understand overall this market's exposed to these promises. And I'll use the chiropractor because it's an easy example. Their direct response competitors could be an acupuncturist, it could be a massage therapist, it could be a chiropractor, it could be pain medication. And what is the promise being made across that whole plane of what's the exposure to your audience? You know, what are the promises being made? So at that point, you can come back and you can make a superior promise, a superior offer. That's what you're looking for. And you'll find it in the ads, you'll find it in the headlines, you'll find it in the landing pages. You'll find it in the headlines of the landing pages and the ads. That's where you're going to find the promises. You can also find it in the copy too, but the main market promise is going to be in the headline if they've done it right.
Okay. I think that's all I had.
Okay, awesome. You're getting close, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting. We got a few of you now that are actually on track. You're getting there. That 100K gold bar is getting closer. I'm just dying to give that thing to somebody. I keep toting it around. I'm getting tired of carrying it. So, all right. Anything else? Anybody? Last call here. Last drink call. All right, guys. That'll be it for today. Then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I will also. I'll get the calls up in the archive from all of our apprentice sessions. Got them on 2 different computers, so I'm going to upload the ones from here in my office, and then when I get back home later, I'll upload those. So I got the page up. That's the big part. I just need to load them up. So you guys are set. You've got the examples. You got the roof copy example. You've got the 2 examples of the landing page and the follow-up page, and you should be good to go. Just model it and go to town. All right, guys, that is it for today. We will see you next week and for traffic.
Awesome.